Caleb Williams, the presumed first overall pick, potentially for the Chicago Bears. We'll see what happens in that regard. It's quarterback out of USC, but there's rumors and reports, such as from Peter King. Shout out to Peter King, who retired recently, but he wrote in his column that it's possible that the Bears could pass up drafting Caleb Williams and instead keep Justin Fields and trade that pick for multiple picks to try and build the roster around Fields going into year 4 for him. So I'll start with Barry Grant Jr. I know you're a big USC guy. Should the Chicago Bears keep the number 1 pick and draft Caleb Williams, or trade it and build around Justin Fields?
I think they should build around Justin Fields and trade it and be able to get more assets, because the thing is, do we really know if Caleb Williams is going to be that guy? I've had discussions about this with several people. I'm a USC fan. I've seen this kid up close. He's good, but is he suited to jump into a situation in Chicago that's not ready made for him to succeed right now? In USC, it was ready made for him to be good. The offense is good. You know, everything is there in regards to, he had the quarterback whisperer for you, right? And even as great as the offense was, he still struggled mightily in big games this year. So if you're going to fast forward that and put him into a situation where it's not really ideal for him to succeed this season, what are you really doing? I'd rather you deal with the devil that you already know. You know that Justin Fields is not a great quarterback. He's not a great passer of the football, but he's an athlete. So you can be able to put some pieces around him, get some weapons. Maybe you can get another good wideout or two, get him a solid running game that they can be able to really trust and rely upon. And now you can be able to do things the right way and build this team out how you want to do it. Obviously, he's still in his rookie contract. You don't have to pay him a ton of money right now. So it's best that you be able to do that, build the roster out. And if you have to make a decision in a year or two, you're in a better position than you were, last year or the year before that, 2 years from now. So I think it's better off that they go ahead and just trade the pick, keep Fields, and build the roster out, because, they're not as bad as a lot of people think if they completely, start to build the team out and start to kind of fill some holes that they need to fill.
Yeah, and I think you make a great point about, the roster. It's not near as bad. And obviously, for clarification, folks may not know, they don't have the first overall pick because they were terrible. They had the first overall pick because of the trade with Carolina and the Bryce Young, and obviously the Panthers went on to be the worst team in football. But I think you bring up a very interesting point about the situation that Caleb's going in, and I think a lot of ways you're alluding to the coaching staff of Chicago is a bit so-so. Eberflus, has he really proved much in his first couple of years with the Bears? And I think that was really Chicago's. We'll see what they do with this first pick, but I think that in and of itself was a big mistake, not moving on from Eberflus. You could have brought in, again, Ben Johnson did stay in Detroit, but at least make a push for Ben Johnson, maybe go out and get a Mike Vrabel, more of a proven guy, if not a proven guy, somebody who's a more innovative type of creator to work with the Caleb or Justin Fields. But I think you made some good points in general. So Barry Grant Jr. gets a good take, 100 points on the board for Barry to get started on the 8 o'clock spot. Adam Bessie, should the Bears trade the first overall pick? I'm thinking Cam fan. I'm thinking Cam fan. Should the Chicago Bears, though, should they trade the first overall pick and roll with Justin Fields, build around him, or take Caleb Williams and then move on from Fields after that?
Yeah, I 100% trade the pick, get all of the assets that you need to shore up your team in whatever way it is, in trades or picks. I think you look at Caleb Williams and whether or not it's been a smear campaign, but everything that kind of is leaked out about the guy from a non-Bears fan, but just a fan in general of the NFL and seeing news pop up. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not. I've never talked to Caleb Williams, but doesn't seem like someone that I would want with the maturity level to run my team, specifically if they're not completely a sound team, as the underwhelmingly energized Barry Grant Jr. said tonight. Sorry, Barry, I was just expecting more fire from you tonight, and you're just you're not pumping me up right now. I need a more energized second take from you there, pal. But the Bears would be better to put their effort into Justin Fields and get the assets around that quarterback, because if that quarterback goes down, you want to have somebody else that you can put into the system and continue on with the team, and you can do that with the additional assets. But on the maturity level alone, I would not be putting my franchise on Caleb Williams for now. I mean, talk to him during the combine, talk to him during the selection process. Teams should be doing their due diligence, but at the end of the day, we have no idea. Look at how many round one quarterbacks have gone bust, and then other people who haven't gone first overall pick, maybe the second overall pick, that have been like surefire studs like CJ Stroud. So, but yeah, Bears should be passing up on Caleb. That's my take.
And I think that there's, I put together a list. I don't even know, because something you said, I don't know why, just kind of sparked at my head about, like every first round NFL quarterback since 2012. And I'm just skimming through the list, since 2012. But I'm looking at guys like Joe Burrow was able to succeed. But again, you look at the list, you see some Josh Rosens, you see some. I mean, remember Paxton Lynch in 2016, who the Cowboys almost got? That was like, whoa. I mean, there's been a lot of guys that have been bust. Only a few, like Luck, like Burrow, like some of those guys have been able to pan out. And so, like you said, it's not always a surefire thing. So, Adam Bessie, I'm going to give you a good take. I think you make some interesting points in regards to his maturity, because like Baker Mayfield, that was a big concern for him coming in. And in some ways, that's kind of what did his career in Cleveland, at least. In a very large way. So a good take by Adam Bessie. Finally, with John Rivera, would you trade the first overall pick if you were the Bears, or would you use it to take Caleb Williams?
Well, first, you know what I mean? Notre Dame always beat USC, so that's just a shot at Barry right there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Irish. At first, I was with everyone, man. Like, keep Fields, get more picks for him and stuff like that. But I'm kind of leaning the other way now as recent days and weeks pass by, man. I mean, maturity level, like he said, I mean, everyone has that kind of thing going, especially when the draft heats up. They want to throw stuff out there that, for the Washington or somebody to come and get them and trade for them. Hopefully they don't pick them, to get their guy, as they say. So, but yeah, I would actually draft Caleb Williams, man. As far as the comparison, far as like level of play, it's not too far from each other. I love Justin Fields. You can get a high second round draft pick for him, so you're still getting value for Justin Fields. You know what I mean? You got the 9th pick. I mean, you reset the market as far as quarterback position, so then you can go all out and get more weapons. You can add Saquon Barkley if they want to add that to the backfield. You can add an offensive lineman. They made some of these draft trades to get Sweat last year from Washington. So just like y'all guys were alluding to, they didn't get the number 1 pick because they was that trash. They got number 1 pick for making this trade last year, and they got picks, and they traded that pick, like I said, for Sweat as well. So I would, draft them, like I said, build around Caleb Williams, especially if you think the talent level or is kind of the same, you know what I mean? But that way you can use all that money and build around them, you know what I mean? Build around them, I would say. And like I said, you're getting a high draft pick for Justin Fields, you know what I mean? So I don't think like I said, I don't think the levels are high enough for me to be like Justin Fields, you know what I mean, and build around Justin Fields, because, I mean, just like he alluded to, all these quarterbacks, you don't know if they're going to hit or miss, you know what I mean? You got 3 years with Justin Fields. I see stuff.
10 seconds, John.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll take Caleb Williams with the first pick. Like I said, I'm still getting draft picks for Justin Fields, man. Just build around them. You got all the money to do it, man.
For sure, and I think I think you hit on some phenomenal points that you will not be able to build to the degree that if you trade the number 1 pick, you'll get a greater return than if you traded Justin Fields, obviously. But like you said, you can still be able to do that. You still have your own draft pick. Again, in the top 10, like just kind of like you did a year ago. Bears are in a similar position. They could have taken Stroud. They decided not to. Now they're sort of getting a mulligan. And again, like you said, what Fields is 3 years in, and is he good? Does he provide some highlights? Yeah, sure. He's like, he's not, not to take a shot at a Jets guy, but he's not Zach Wilson. Like, he provides some upside. But listen, when you see what Caleb Williams could do, and again, he's cheap. You get him on the cheap for 3 years until you have to extend him or move on. So I think from a financial standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. So John, I'm going to give you a great take, 200 points moving into the second round. I think it's not like you're going to draft Caleb Williams, keep Justin Fields, to get nothing for Justin Fields. You're going to get something, like you said, high second rounder. And listen, Drew Brees was drafted at the top of the second round. Now, they won't take a quarterback, obviously, but first rounders, we've seen 33% kind of be busts, over the last decade or so. We'll see if they're able to pan out with the Bears draft. But there's a strategy to play this at. And then one last thing, we'll move on. If you trade that first overall pick and get a bunch of picks in return, now the pressure's on you to hit on those picks. It's not like you're getting players that are proven. Like, so there's a whole different, as opposed to just hitting on one with Caleb Williams. So definitely a very layered conversation.